All right, it's time to dive into the fun stuff, guys. We're going to talk about our Ohio State predictions for the season. And here's what's awesome about this, guys, is we want you all to participate with us as well right now. So let me pull open my show notes here because I also wrote down in my show notes what all my predictions were going to be. All right, let's start here with number one, the record. So I believe the over under is 10 and a half
Yep.
in Vegas, 10 and a half. What do you predict the record to be? Let us know in the chat what Ohio State will be in the 12 regular season games. What will be our record, Aaron?
I'm going to say undefeated. Yep. I know. Everybody's going to say you're crazy. Offensive line is unsure. We don't even know who our quarterback is. Don't care. I got faith in Day. I got faith in the team. The defense, from everything that I've read, heard, it's the defense. Looks amazing. This could look like 2002, where the offense, you got a couple of guys that can get the job done, but the defense is who's winning this game for us this season. So I'm looking forward to a great season, a whole lot of white knuckling my couch and fingernail biting. I think this season's gonna change things for us.
Chris?
I've got faith in Ryan Day too for the first 11 games. I'm going to call 11-1. I just don't think that Day's shown he can beat that team up north. And he had the best quarterback in the country the last 2 years to try doing it. This year he doesn't have C.J. Stroud. He hasn't shown really any willingness to turn the ball over to the running game, other than the one game against Northwestern where he didn't have a choice because Justin Fields was playing on life support. Uh, you know they're in Ann Arbor this year, and even though I think we have the better team, I just don't think that Day can beat that team up north. I hope he proves me wrong, but he hasn't given me any reason to believe it.
Good to see you tonight, Jeremy. Welcome into the chat, buddy. Um, Nick says 12 and 0. We got a lot of 12 and 0s. We got one 11 and 1 with agrees with Chris. I'm at 11 and 1. This is a tough schedule, guys. It is one of the more difficult schedules in all of college football. I don't know how you all feel about the trip to South Bend, Indiana, after watching that game yesterday, but that is not going to be an easy game on the road in the non-conference. You got that difficult trip to Madison, Wisconsin, a night game, and they've been apparently waiting all summer for this. I don't know if you guys saw that video with the Wisconsin players. That was cringeworthy. But anyways, they're gonna be good. That's gonna be another tough road game. You got Penn State at home. That's a good rivalry game. Last year we get to play them that we know of, unless they change the schedule again for a while. And then you have the third big road trip when you go to Ann Arbor. And I'm with you, Chris. I think that you got to show me. I'm like the Missouri State right now, man. Show me. I gotta see it. I gotta see it. So Nick says, do you think that the Penn State game will be a night game? I don't. I think it'll probably be a noon game, Fox big noon
Yeah.
kickoff, more than likely. So that's probably what it's going to be, and we'll see. I'm at 11-1. So everybody seems to be over the 10 and a half, though,
Yeah.
despite all the changes and everything. All right, thank you. All right, guys, you know the drill. Let's just keep doing this, all right? Who will be the starting quarterback? Who takes the first snap against Indiana this Saturday, Chris?
Eric, I think you got to go with Kyle McCord, at least versus Indiana. And Eric, the reason why is, and you mentioned this a few weeks back, this is Day's guy. He's not ready to admit failure. He chose him over the guy who's won the Big Ten, last season. And even though I think that was the right decision because McCarthy's an overrated joke, if Day starts Brown over McCord, it means that Day failed to develop this guy. And Day is not going to admit that failure. I think McCord gets the start. I do think at some point, whether it's because of play, injury, what have you, that Brown goes in and plays well enough that he takes that position away. But right now, the game one, snap one starter is Kyle McCord.
Okay, so if you turn on CBS at 3:30 on your television screen this Saturday, and all of a sudden Devin Brown's the starter, you're going to be shocked? Are you going to be floored? Or are you just
Yeah,
going to be like,
I will be.
will you?
I will be shocked, but not because Devin Brown's in there, or not because people see Devin Brown as the better player, but just because Ryan Day put him in there.
All right. All right. Seniority, right?
Yeah,
Give him the first shot. He's
there is
older.
something. There is something to be said about seniority.
Yeah.
He's got one
In the
more win than
system.
Brown does. He did start and win
It
one
was
2 years
against
ago.
Akron. Does it count?
Of course it counts. It's a Division I school.
Barely.
I'm taking.
Yeah.
They look like
Michigan.
somebody that would
Michigan
be-
would count it.
They look like somebody that Alabama would be playing the week before a rivalry game.
Michigan's playing 3 Akrons this start of this year. You don't think they're going to count those? Aaron, who's it going to be?
I say Devin Brown.
Woo! Okay.
I'll go against the grain,
All
which,
right.
that probably means Kyle McCord, because it seems like everything I say they do the opposite of for some weird reason, but whatever. I say Devin Brown, and it's because of this. So I saw in the comments somebody said that the only thing Stroud had was the arm. Well, that's not true. That's not true. He could run. He chose not to. Okay?
He was
could
told
run.
not to.
I'm just saying he had the ability and he did not use it. Okay? You can be told anything on the sideline. When you get between those lines on the field, you got a decision you got to make. And coach, there's nobody there to hold your hand, buddy. If you make a play, you make a play. Now, what I think is Devin Brown is very similar to CJ Stroud. Okay? He has the ability, and I'm not saying Kyle McCord doesn't, but Devin Brown, from the film I seen at his high school, he has the ability to extend plays better than Kyle McCord, and he also has an arm. And so what that does in my mind as a coach is that gives you the continuity of play. So it's almost like you didn't lose CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of an it factor there with Devin Brown that's not quite there with McCord as well.
I agree.
And again, no ill will to Kyle McCord. I'd love to see the kid come out, have a Heisman campaign, and lead the Buckeyes to a national title. I'd love to have him and Day shove my words right down my throat. I would love to come out and admit I'm wrong. I just don't think that I am.
There's a lot of swag. Devin Brown's got some swag, as the kids say.
Yes, sir.
My eyes told me Devin Brown was the better play for several reasons. We've gone over those. I'm not diving into all that now, but I still think McCord gets the start. I think he gets the start, and I think Devin Brown gets the second series. I think he's going to play them both.
So do you think that Ryan Day is going to J.J. McCarthy, Kyle McCord?
Very good. He might very well. He might, and he might set this thing up to try to get him to not leave before that 4th game. Because remember, you play 4 games or less, it doesn't count against your eligibility. He can jump into the portal and still have 3 years of eligibility left. So I don't know. I hope that that's not what happens, because I believe we're going to need them both. I think that just like 2014, there's a potential there. If you got a brand new starting left tackle, guys, the number one injuries that quarterbacks get are from that weak side, the blind side, a defensive end coming in, hit and tackling them, and or getting their hand up on their arm and creating an injury in the rotator cuff or the fingers or the hand, throwing the football. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I would not be shocked if Devin Brown takes the bull by the horns and takes this thing. Because my 2 eyes told me at that practice, he's got the it factor. He gets the ball out quickly, on time. He is not afraid to extend the plays. And he moves incredibly well in the pocket, like Aaron said. And I think he will have that I'll go get you 2 yards if no one's open thing. So there's some grit there, which is another reason why I'm like, we're going to need maybe more than one quarterback here. We might need more than one. All right. Good question, guys. Thank you for your comments there in the comment section. We keep this thing rolling here. Let's go to our next question here. most receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. They can be the same guy, different guy, 3 different guys. Aaron, what you got? Receptions, yards, and TDs. Who leads? You don't have to give me a number. Just give me who you think gets those categories.
This might sound a little counterintuitive given that Marvin Harrison has made his name. Everybody knows who he is, and they know he's going to get the ball thrown to him. But I have that much confidence in his ability. I think he leads all 3 categories: receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Chris?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison's the sexy choice here, as they like to call it. But you know what? I don't think it happens. I think he's going to draw a lot of attention. I see a Emeka Egbuka sliding in there, edging him out in yards, edging him out with catches. I do think that Harrison's the guy at the goal line, just the way he has the body control, and he's such a freak, and down when it comes to the body control and being able to go up and high point the ball. I really feel like he's going to have the edge in the touchdowns receiving.
I went back and forth with this one because, Chris, I do see a scenario where Marvin's getting all the attention and Egbuka's got a lot of one-on-ones, and you can't stop this guy one-on-one. I also think that this is why Ohio State has been putting Marvin in the slot a lot this spring, so that all 3 receivers can play all 3 positions. Because if you're going to follow Marv with 2 guys and you move him to the slot, Aaron, what's that do to a defense? I mean, that you're looking around like, what are we going to do, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still think it's Marv. And here's my reasoning why. Because again, Chris, I agree with your scenario, and I was going to do that. But this week, the media got to meet with the wide receivers and Brian Hartline after practice. All the receivers came after practice, sat down at the tables, spoke to the media, except for one guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., who continued to work on the jugs machine for 30 minutes and made the media wait until he was done. And then he sat down and they asked him why, and he said, because I dropped a ball in practice.
Yes.
That is perfectionism, which is why he is so good. If you're going to overcome the silhouette and shadow of a legendary Hall of Fame father, you have got to work relentlessly to make a name for yourself, which is exactly what he has done. When I heard that, I said, I'm not going to put anything behind this guy. He can do it. He sets his mind to it. He's going to do it. I just pray we don't see injuries this year from him. That's my prayer. Brian Lee Oberst says he thinks Marvin can break the TD record this season. I agree.
He definitely could.
It all again depends on the quarterback. Do you think Thurman will get opportunities in the red zone? The freshman tight end, Jelani Thurman. He might get some, maybe more towards the end of the year. You got to develop that. Got to develop that tight end, but that's definitely where I think his greatest asset to the team right now is at the red zone in the passing game. Robert Allen, he's going with my son's favorite guy,
Emeka
Egbuka. That was so great, Robert.
That was the best part of the tailgate, man.
Who's your favorite player? Emeka Egbuka. So great. I love that, man.
But he won a Harrison jersey, if I remember right.
Wow, Alex, he's going big time. Jelani's the best tight end by far.
He looked pretty solid. I don't know if he's better than Cade right now, but he looked solid in high school. Man.
We'll see about that. I hope you surprise me, Alex. I hope that you're right about that. All right, next question. Here we go. Same thing, but let's go with the running backs. So most rushing attempts, most rushing yards, most rushing touchdowns. Chris, you go second. You get to go first.
This one by far, I think, is the toughest one to choose, Eric. I mean, this is a room that could have 2,000-yard rushes or 5 guys carrying for 500 yards.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to go with I think Travion has the bounce back season. I think he leads the team in rushing yards. I do think, however, that Mayan gets more touches and more touchdowns. I think that Travion will have his share, but they're going to be more breakaways because of his dynamic playmaking ability than anything. Down in the red zone, it's going to go to Mayan. You know what? Let me adjust that. I think Travion will get the touchdowns, and this is why. I think Mayan and Chip and these guys are going to split those touches down in the red zone probably. And I think we'll probably find that Travion ends up with the most touchdowns.
I'll go second here. I'm going to go Travion Henderson for all three. If he stays healthy, which is, you got to highlight that for him. If he stays healthy, they're going to give him the most opportunities for this reason. He is the biggest home run threat we have in the backfield.
Oh, absolutely.
His speed is just next level. And if he can kind of direct that correctly, make the one cut and go, find the seam and hit it, he's going to have some huge numbers. Aaron, what you got?
I said Travion for carries and yards, and it's for the same reasons you're saying. You know, he is the home run threat, and I just he's going to get the lion's share. He's back healthy. He's, you know, we all know what he's capable of. We saw that. That's real stuff. But I think that Mayan's going to get the touchdowns deep in the red zone. I don't know. You know, I was pleased with what I saw out of Chip, but I don't think that it's enough to steal touchdowns from Mayan.
Okay.
Is it stealing touchdowns or just spreading them out there?
Either way, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Mayan is trusted. We know that he will get those yards. You tell him to get 2 yards, he will get every inch of those yards.
Next question might be the easiest one we have. Most tackles. On the count of 3, we'll say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Tommy Two Thumbs.
Eichenberg. Yeah.
I think that is it. I mean, can he get to 150? Yes or no? No?
No, I think that we are too improved along the defensive line. I think Steel Chambers is going to be ready to make that big move, to increase his tackles. I think he probably falls off a little, to be honest, Eric. I think he maybe racks around 105 to 110 this year.
There are going to be less plays for the simple fact that the game is moving quicker.
Yep.
So you're going to have to take that into account.
But he's definitely still the leader.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Alex actually brings up a good. All right. Next one is, I think we have, was it interceptions or sacks? Sacks. Oh, let's see here. I think for me, I'll answer this one first. I'm going to go with Jack Sawyer. I like what I've seen in him being moved back to the defensive end. I think he's got I don't want to say much quicker. I think he's got a better first step than JTT. I also think that JT is the name and going to get a lot of concentration from offensive lines at the beginning of the year. And I think Sawyer takes advantage of that. And so I think that's probably who your sack leader is going to be this year, is Captain Jack Sawyer. What you got, Aaron?
I'm going JTT. The guy's got a name for a reason. And, you know, Chris pointed out earlier, the defensive line is more experienced, maybe a little more talented. You know, Zach Harrison, love the dude, but he wasn't it. He didn't pan out the way he thought we thought he would. You know, the last few games of the year last year, dude showed up, but he did not live up to the hype that we thought that a 5-star of his caliber would coming out of high school. JTT has been that guy. And I think among that line, he's the one. He'll lead with sacks.
I think both the guys you're talking about, get double-digit sacks and don't lead the team. In 266 snaps in 2022, Mike Hall Jr. had 4.5 sacks.
Come on.
7.5 tackles. Now, just follow me, Eric. That would be 21 sacks and 35 tackles for loss if you extrapolated that out over the course of a season. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. But what I do believe is that this guy has literally Aaron Donald type potential. He's a disruptor. I think he can get in the backfield. I think a lot of attention is going to be paid to those two defensive ends. And I think he can get that push up the middle. If he's healthy, I've got him with 12 guys. And I think he leads the team with that.
If a safety leads a team in tackles, then we have issues. Actually,
yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that. The year
Ronnie
that we
Hickman did a few years ago.
Ronnie Hickman, Jordan Fuller, and
Fuller.
both
Yep.
those defenses, man,
We're just
Swiss
not
cheese.
it was not good. So Chris brings up a very good point there. I mean, it's hard for a defensive lineman to lead the team in tackles. Because if it's not a running play, then they have to get a sack. Right? I mean, essentially that's the way it is. Where a linebacker is getting tackles in both the running game and the passing game. So it just the way the game is played, typically a linebacker is going to lead the team in tackles. And if it's not, then it's a safety. And usually it's the safety that plays up towards the line of scrimmage.
You're strong.
So which will be Sonny this year. So if you're going to Alex is I kind of making Alex's point there. Sonny is a freak.
Well,
no argument.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. But that tells me Alex thinks that our front seven's not going to be too great then. If he thinks Sonny's,
he did say
which
that
is fine.
The line will have more. Some of the guys on the line.
Well, someone needs to make up their mind.
Can't be both, huh?
Can't have your cake and eat it too, guy.
I want to know, Alex, without using swear words, what your issue with Tommy is. Because I thought he played really well last year.
He has red hair.
Well, he doesn't really have hair. He looks more like you.
Well,
he's a good-looking man then. That's all there is to it.
You know what the problem is?
Tommy.
He's just not tough Moreland.
Oh, dude, don't do that to me on the first show back. Come on.
Brian, could we see one of our linebackers break the tackle record? No way. The game has changed so much.
Yeah.
To where passes. Yeah. Next up is interceptions. Who you got, Chris?
I might surprise you a little bit with this one, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It came down to two guys for me because I think everybody's going to avoid throwing at Denzel Burke. So for me, it came down to, oddly enough, a safety or Steel Chambers.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Sonny Styles. I think he's a freak athlete. He's going to be covering that slot. I think we got a great defensive line that's going to pressure the quarterback and not allow for a lot of deep throws downfield. So the guy covering the slot receiver seems to be the choice for me.
I'm going to say, I was stuck between Burke and Styles myself, but the more I thought about it, I think that it's going to be Styles, and it's because of his athleticism and the fact that he's playing nickel.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on a lot of those crossing routes, slants, inside routes. He's going to be there a lot. And guess where he might happen to find himself? We play two linebackers. He covers that third zone.
Yeah.
A lot of those inside passes, they think they're going to throw it to that empty zone that Sonny Styles is going to make a play in.
So I went with Burke. I just think that this is a different Denzel Burke than what we saw last year. When I saw him jump that route on the first 7-on-7 pass at that practice and take it to the house, I was like, so obviously he knew what they were going to run. It's against your own team. You've been seeing them all summer. I understand that. But the athleticism I saw in that, the decision making, the fact that he's playing closer to the line of scrimmage, I think is critically important. And I just have more confidence in him because I see a more confident player. So I'm going to go with him, but I could see where it could definitely be Sonny. He has that total package, athleticism, sideline to sideline type of ability. So Yeah. Uh, Aaron doesn't know what he's speaking, huh? You do realize that Aaron was like semi-professional and coached at a very high level, Alex. So it's
It's all
all right.
good, man. Hey, look,
Everybody's a good entitled to their opinion.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm good with that. That's
We
fine.
we bring back Stone Cold and right away, man.
Hey, that's how it goes, man.
Denzel does have something to prove this season, Chris says. Love a guy who has a chip on his shoulder. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and for me, Eric, it's not a question of the ability. I think it's just a factor of opportunity. I don't think people are going to throw at him. He shows it in the first couple games. I don't see people throwing at him.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, we have another cornerback who is very
Physical.
physical himself and
Yeah,
may
he's
not offer the quarterback opportunities there either. So they might have to. He might have to. Oh, so we have that one, and all right, last one. This is always fun. Your crazy Ohio State prediction for the season, and I emphasize the word crazy. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump it.
All right.
I think Devin Brown takes over the quarterback job after splitting time the first two games, leads the Buckeyes to the national championship, and finishes as a Heisman contender.
That's awful crazy.
I hope you're right. that's all I'm going to say.
I'm not saying he's going to win it. I'm just saying he's a
Right.
contender.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think the loser of the quarterback battle, I think he splits. You got Aaron Nolan coming in, and I just don't see a reason for him to stick around at that point.
Come on, Aaron. You can do crazier than that.
Well, actually, the crazy thing would be that they both stay for a whole nother year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be crazy.
I don't know.
I went to the defense.
Okay. All right. I'll give you one. Brian Hartline, Jets for a head coaching position.
I don't like that, Aaron.
I don't like it either. But it's a crazy. You said it's crazy. Hey, crazy.
Yeah. Again. Some people, crazy. Cincinnati was offering him.
Hey, some people feel that he's ready.
Now he's got coordinator in his title.
Yeah. My crazy one is that the defense will hold 4 opponents to 10 points or less this season.
That's not crazy, dude.
Games,
you don't think that's crazy at all? Given what our defense has been like since 2019 and today's college football game, you don't think that's crazy?
Not against the first few opponents.
Yeah, dude.
I think you got 3 opponents right out of the gate that are going to struggle.
I was going to say.
I would say 2. Western Kentucky can put up points.
Yeah, they can.
You're not wrong, but I still think. I don't know. I don't know. That's very possible.
So how many do I have to do? Do I have to go up to 6 to make that crazy?
I do.
6
I think that. I think 6 would be crazy. Yeah.
All right. Well, at least we know the number now, right?